Namaste, Gurudev. Mr. Joseph Karimi from America has sent you some questions. He says, I am in a time of real internal change. My values have continued to shift away from things that used to seem important. Now I have many questions. One of them, could you elucidate on the differences of prayer and meditation? Do they have different aims?
Prayer and meditation are two very important things for spiritual progress. Prayer means imploring the all-merciful, all-powerful, divine for something. It may be secular or spiritual. For prayer, the foremost need is faith. More than logic, more than philosophy, more than intellectual understanding, it needs simple faith in God, in the supreme controller of the universe. Without faith, prayer cannot be possible. And then prayer also needs purity of mind. Prayer is possible only when you think that God is the relation. Like we live in this world, we survive here having relationship with people. A number of people who have relations, we develop relations, loving relations, and through that relationship, we sometimes fulfill our needs also. A lot of needs are fulfilled that way, So with God, when you develop certain relation like father, mother, friend, companion, even lover, then you can pray. You see, everywhere, in every religion, this prayer is done. Prayer is there. Muslims pray, Christians pray, but there is a relationship. Like Christ says Father, addresses God as Father. And Ramakrishna addresses him as Mother. And Rishis address him as Lord. So, some relationship should be there in prayer, and it is a matter of devotion. In Hindu religion, we have different forms of yoga. Karma yoga, Jnana yoga, Raja yoga, Bhakti yoga. Prayer is a part of Bhakti yoga. Without bhakti, without this supple feeling towards the divine, prayer cannot be done. Right prayer cannot be done. And among all the proclivities that are controlling human being, as a matter of fact, human life is a mass of instincts. Those instincts are constantly working behind us. All the time. Hundreds of instincts are working. Love, anger, greed, jealousy, felicity, and so many other instincts are working all the time. And out of these instincts, God-loving instincts. Faith in God is a strong, very powerful instinct. And this instinct is working in everybody. Everybody prays, whosoever. Somebody may call himself to be non-believer of God, but still when he is in difficulty, he is compelled to pray to some unseen divine power. Because life here is very precarious. Life here is often seem to be very uncertain because we don't understand, we cannot grasp. That's why it is. We do not know what is going to happen next. Time is rolling on, moving on constantly. incessantly, and we do not know what is there in the time. Kalusya Kutilagati. The movement of the time is very complicated. You cannot assess what is going to happen next in the world or even in individual life. So at such a moment, one needs to depend on the power which has control over time, which has control over situation, which has control over life and the movement of life. So prayer is a must for every individual, and for prayer, as already said, that for prayer you need strong faith. You need to have the feeling of existence of the divine power, that the divine has the capacity to remove your problems or fulfill your wishes. So prayers can be done for many things. Like in the Gita, Lord Krishna says there are four kinds of people who actually worship me. There's not five, but the four kinds of people. So, Artha, Artharthi, Jiggasu, Gyani. Artha means those who are in trouble. We have trouble, everybody has trouble. Now or then, sometimes the people are stuck with problems. So when there is problem, this problem-stricken people also pray to God to remove their problem. And then Artharthi, people want something. They want something material things. They want position, they want power, they want money, they want house, they want job, they want so many kinds of things. People have a number of mundane desires that are propelling them all day and night, and they want to fulfill them. So they believe that more than individual effort, there is some superpower behind everybody, behind everything, and that power can fulfill if can be appealed well. So, and third people, those who are Jiggasu. Who are Jiggasu? Those who want to know the truth. Those who are seeker of the divine. Those who want enlightenment. Such people also pray to God or worship God. That God can give enlightenment. God has the power to give enlightenment, give knowledge. Because enlightenment removes his suffering forever. Solution. Like Kapil says, here he hetu han hanupaya. There is suffering and there is reason for suffering, and han, suffering can be removed, and there is a way to remove the suffering. The way is spirituality. So prayer, when a person wants to know what is the reality, what is the eternity that are above death and all sorts of mundane complications, such people also worship God, and God helps them. And lastly, Gyani, those who already know the truth, those who are already enlightened, they also pray to God, they also worship God out of happiness, out of joy, out of inspiration. They worship God because that way they please God and they themselves are pleased. But when God is pleased, you are pleased. And your happiness, your joy, your blissfulness proves that God is with you and he is happy with you. Otherwise, he would not give you the shower of bliss. He would not send forth the shower of bliss to you. So, prayer, people pray for their mundane aggrandizement, mundane development, and people pray for their spiritual development. Prayer is a must. And then we understand worship. What is worship? With prayer there comes worship. Worship calls puja in Sanskrit. The performance by which, spiritual performance, by which your soul becomes pure. The purity descends in your soul, the purity, pristine purity descends upon your soul. Because when the soul is impure, you cannot have the realization of the divine. So for the purity of the soul, in the Vedic religion, there are many kinds of pujas. Tantric worships, Vedic worships, all sorts of worship, puja. It's also a kind of prayer. Puja is also a kind of prayer. And then in the puja, you eulogize God. There are stutis, so many eulogies, You pray to God and chant, like in the Upanishads, there are many, prayers of that kind. And Vedas are full of prayers, and the most renowned prayer in the Veda, the most renowned prayer is the Gayatri. Gayatri is a prayer. Om Bhur Bhuvashva Tat Savitur Varennam Bhargo Devasya Dhimahi Dhiyo Yo Naha Prachodayat Om. So Om Bhur Bhuvashva. This is the identity of the Supreme, that He is existing in all three worlds. The world that we see, the world that we think, and the world that we realize in the transcendental state of mind, in this transcendental state of the soul, when we realize a world which is vast, which is full of joy, Satchidananda, full of joy, full of knowledge, and full of wisdom. That world, in all these three worlds, the world that we see, the mundane world, material world, the world that we think all the time, and the world that is beyond thinking, and all the three worlds, Bhu, Bhuvashva, all the three worlds, the God is existing, it is the identity. And then Shabitu means the one who has given birth to us, the Supreme Consciousness, this particular divine power, divinity. So, Tat Savitur Varinnam, that we worship, that we accept, that should be accepted as the most important element in life. And how to accept that? By meditation. Bharga Devasya Dhimahi. He is light. He is full of effulgence. And when you contemplate on His light, like the light of the sun, that people after bath, they pray to sun, the light, because everybody wants light. Even the small insects, they rush into the room, in monsoon, because they seek light. When there is light, the insects come. So if the insects are seeking light, why not human beings? The inner darkness must be removed. So this light we contemplate. And because we contemplate on the light of the divine, we can pray. What is the prayer for? Not for gold, not for money, not for name, fame, but for brightening intelligence. Because when the intelligence is bright, when the intelligence is concentrated, single-pointed, then only the realization of the Supreme can be done, and then only the removal of suffering and fulfillment of all desires, mundane or supramundane, can be accomplished. So that way, the Gayatri Mantra actually prays for brightening one's intelligence. O God, O Supreme Truth, O the Creator of the universe, brighten my intelligence, brighten our intelligence, so that we can realize You. Because with the blunt mind, with the ordinary intelligence, the mundane kind of mentality, you cannot realize God. So your intelligence should be purified. So this is the prayer in the Vedas. And also you can see the Shanti Pata in the Vedas, in the Upanishads. You have a lot of Shanti Pata. So all the Shanti Patas are full of prayers. They're all prayers, as a matter of fact. Are prayers. For instance, one prayer is called Bangme Manashi Pratishtita Maname Bachi Pratishtitam. In my words, O God, in my words, my mind should be settled. And in my mind, my words should be settled. That means my mind and my words should go parallel. There should not be something in my mind and something in my speech. There should not be hypocrisy, as a matter of fact. I should be so clean that my mind and words, they go hand in hand. Bangme Manashi Pratishtita Maname Bachi Pratishtitam Avir Mayati. By this practice, with your infinite light, the light that is in me should be enhanced. I have light. Had there been no light, I would not be surviving here in this world. And this light can be enhanced only from infinite source, that is You, the omnipresent, the omnipowerful God, all-powerful God, that by Your light, my light should be enhanced because of this virtue of my purity, mind and speech. Abir Madi. Vedashamanista. Let the Vedas come to me. Veda means wisdom, natural wisdom. The wisdom that is controlling the universe or controlling human soul is Veda. Veda is not just few books. Books are only maps. But the real Veda comes from within. Wisdom comes from within. The external world is only a stimulation. Books are the stimulation, but the knowledge comes from within. So Vedashamanista, oh God, let Vedas come to me. Flow, the natural knowledge should flow into me. Sutang me maprahasi, whatever wonderful thing I have heard, whatever words of wisdom I have heard from enlightened people, seers, I should not reject that. That should be dwelling in my mind. It should be settled in my mind. Sutang me maprahasi. Aneno dite nahoratram. By cultivating such science constantly, ahoratram, let me pass day and night. All day and night should pass by reflecting on such things, by cultivating such things, by studying such words of wisdom, such thoughts of wisdom. Sangadadhamritang badishami, I shall speak words which are like honey, like ambrosia, and Satyam badishami, I shall speak the truth, there should not be any falsehood in me. My words should be pure, exact, precise, and to the point. By that virtue, my teacher, my master should be protected and myself be protected. And Om Shanti, Shanti, Shanti. May there be physical happiness, physical peace, and may there be natural peace, may there be spiritual peace. So these are all prayers. Like Om Sahana Bhuvatu Sahano Bhunaktu Sahabijam Karavavahi. May God protect both me and my teacher. Encourage both me and my teacher. Maintain both me and my teacher. And all what we study should be invigorated, should be energized, should be real, not just parrotating them, not just getting by heart and not understanding what is there, like many Pandits or like people who are hypocritical religious people. No. Whatever we study should be liveliness, fiery-ness, and we should not be jealous of each other. Teacher and student, we should not be jealous of each other. Om Shanti. Similarly, there are so many kinds of prayers, and the most famous, as it's already mentioned, the most famous of all these is Gayatri Mantra. After bath, generally, somebody looks up towards the sun and prays. So this prayer and then Japam. The question of Mr. Joe is there that Japam is also a kind of prayer.
Is that a kind of prayer?
Yeah, it's a kind of prayer, of course a kind of prayer, because whatever you wish in your heart, it may be a desire, a longing for emancipation, a longing for supreme realization. It's known to the divine, because divine knows everything. You cannot think before him. I mean to say, it is said in the Vedas that he runs without legs before the gods. And he hears everything without ears. He sees everything without eyes. So your thoughts cannot action without the witness of the divine. He witnesses, then the thoughts work. So if you chant his name constantly, that makes you think of him because you are chanting his name, and when you think of him, naturally the God faculty in you is kindled. God faculty in you that is dormant is awakened, and then automatically your wishes are fulfilled. You become nearer and nearer to the cosmic consciousness by the purity that you can achieve through your japam. So japam is one of the most important thing in human life. Just prayer in the morning and prayer in the evening, but all day long, all through your activities or through your movements, all day long you can go on chanting God's name. God's name, that is mantra. Mantra. The sound that delivers your mind from uneasiness, discomfort, ignorance. That is mantra. So mantra is a kind of prayer. Then again, action is also a kind of prayer. If you work for God without any selfish interest, karma yoga, that pleases God because he is working in the same manner. Imitation of God is a kind of prayer, because that pleases God. He is working without interest. He is constantly working. And He is working with compassion. And when you work with compassion, work with love, work with interest, work with interest means work with interest in action, and without any selfish interest, I mean to say, without any selfish interest, it becomes godly work. So godly work is also a kind of prayer. And then you praise Him. So these kind of things all coming within the range of bhakti yoga. Bhakti is very important. It is a big instinct in human being. In other animals, we cannot say that they have bhakti, but they have love also, because mother loves children, children love mother, and something going on. It is a kind of thing. But the love for the divine, love for the unseen, omnipotent divine, omnipotent God is possible only by human beings, because human being has that faculty given. So that way all these are prayers. And now what is meditation? When you pray from the very bottom of the heart, for prayer you must remember your lifestyle should be right. If your prayer has to be effective, then if you are greedy, selfish, and not trying to making your lifestyle proper, then the prayer is not working. Prayer will not work. So that way prayer should come from the bottom of the heart more than certain words, few words, some sort of parrotating words. Some words got by heart prayer, that like Tolstoy's story, that three saints used to live in an island and would all the time pray to God, "Oh God, Thou art three and we are three, have mercy on us." So the bishop came to teach them prayers, and he taught them. And then when he went on ship, then he found 3 points coming up the ocean, and slowly he found that these three are the three saints, and they came to the ship and said that, "Sir, we have forgotten the prayer that you have given." Then the bishop said that you keep doing the prayer that you are doing, because your prayer is from the bottom of your heart. Prayer should be bottom of the heart. It's not the language which is important. It is the idea which is important. It is the feeling which is important in prayer. It's not the language. Even if the language is full of fallacy, full of mistakes, no problem. No grammar is needed for here. But you have to say it from the bottom. The Lord, I want this, and I can die for this. I can sacrifice anything for this. Then the prayer comes. The more the urge, the stronger the urge, the stronger the aspiration, the more the prayer is effective. So that way, prayer brings purity, and when purity has come, automatically meditation takes place. Meditation is not a thing to be done. Meditation cannot be done. You can practice concentration, you can practice prayer, you can practice japam, but meditation has to come to you. It is like that somebody can be taught how to cook, or how to eat, how to serve, but cannot be taught how to enjoy food. Somebody can be taught how to read book, but cannot be taught how to enjoy reading books. So, when your spiritual practice, when you enjoy your spiritual practice, when you enjoy your concentration, pure concentration, divine concentration, when you start enjoying, when a flow of joy starts working in you, like you are taken by a river, current of a river, you are being swayed. When this surge of emotion, surge of ecstasy flows in you, in your concentration, then meditation. That is meditation. And this meditation leads you towards the supreme goal, that is absorption, samadhi, and direct perception of the divine. So prayer is helpful for those who practice meditation. There may be people who don't believe in God, or who don't believe in any personal existence of God, and does not pray. They're trying for meditation. But if they pray from time to time, if they pray, then meditation will be stronger. It is like putting oil in the wheel. If there is a grease, the wheel moves well. So prayer is kindled. Prayer awakens the devotion, feeling of softness, and then the meditation becomes juicy. Meditation becomes more enjoyable. So at any rate, devotion is needed, and by prayer we can rouse devotion, true devotion within us.